I love to travel, and I love great food and wine. Come along with me and let's discover some of the world's best food and wine in some of the places that you never even thought of.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I was preparing for another fantastic night of food and drink, starting off with some great Sauvignon Blanc and some fresh heirloom tomatoes. I indulged in the wine and tomatoes, and I soon got ready for the night's feast. I was having a great time preparing the food, and I was in high anticipation of the wine that my friends would bring over. It was always an interesting choice. To my surprise, I was greeted with the fabulous wines of the Livermore Valley. The wines were fantastic, but I knew little about the Livermore Valley. I went straight to my computer to learn a little bit more about the region. The earth-shaking city of San Francisco is the gateway to the Livermore Valley appellation. The San Francisco Bay appellation contains the historic Livermore Valley appellation. It's located about 30 miles east of San Francisco. The valley has a unique east-west orientation that allows grape growers to take advantage of the cool breezes off the Pacific Ocean and San Francisco Bay. The area has a very rich history. It's named after Robert Thomas Livermore. Livermore was born in Essex, England in 1799. He traveled to Peru and then on to the New World and became a naturalized Mexican citizen settling in the Livermore Valley. Livermore and his wife Josefa enjoyed their days at the Los Positos Rancho in what is now the Livermore Valley. They received a land grant in 1839, and they raised a large family until his death in 1858. William Mendenhall founded Livermore, California in 1869. Mendenhall had met Livermore several times as a soldier in General Fremont's garrison. He named the city of Livermore as a tribute to the man that settled there first. Although the area was named after Robert Livermore, one of the most important people in the history of California wine was a settler there named Charles A. Wetmore. Wetmore was a San Diego lawyer that became a newspaper reporter for the Alta California. This is the same paper that employed Mark Twain, and they employed Wetmore to take a look at the depressed state of the California wine industry. Wetmore's reporting had led him to become the most enthusiastic advocate of California's wines. Wetmore studied the state of the California wine industry, and then at his own expense, he traveled to France to represent the state's viticultural interests. While in France, Wetmore studied winemaking and all things having to do with the viticultural and winemaking interests of California. Through the wife of Livermore resident Louis Mel, Wetmore was introduced to the owners of Chateau Yquem, one of Bordeaux's most prestigious winemaking estates. Wetmore was able to secure 3 white wine varietals from the owners of Chateau Yquem to take back to California. In 1882, Charles Wetmore returned to California with those cuttings and planted them in the Livermore Valley. It was then that he started the Cresta Blanca winery. The grapes thrived in the agreeable climate of the Livermore Valley. Wetmore continued to perfect the art of winemaking, and in 1889 he took his wines to Paris and entered them in the World Exposition. The wines gobbled up the competition, and Wetmore won the grand prize for his award-winning Cresta Blanca wine. The Cresta Blanca winery took off as California's shining star. Charles Wetmore left the company in 1892 and left the reins of the company to his brother Clarence. After leaving Cresta Blanca, Charles Wetmore dedicated his whole life to the purpose of promoting California's great wines. Today, Wetmore is remembered by the Wente family vineyards with the Charles Wetmore Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon, produced by grapes from his original vineyards at the Cresta Blanca winery. Wetmore helped lay the groundwork for California wines, but it was C.H. Wente that really laid the groundwork for the Livermore Valley. Wente was a German immigrant who had learned about winemaking from Charles Krug in the Napa Valley. In 1883, he came to the Livermore Valley to establish his family's winery. Wente Vineyards has gone on to be one of the most progressive and important wineries in California. The winery is synonymous with California Chardonnay. While traveling through France in 1912, a member of the Wente family was able to visit the University of Montpellier's viticultural nursery. They were able to secure fantastic Chardonnay cuttings at this time and bring them back to America. These cuttings have now become the source of about 80% of all California Chardonnay, and they're registered by the Foundation Plant Materials Science Service of the University of California, Davis. In 1935, under the guidance of C.H. Wente's sons, Ernest and Herman, the Wente Vineyards introduced California's first varietal label, Sauvignon Blanc. These clones are now known as the Wente clones. The Wente family has also made other technological efforts as well, including pioneering nighttime mechanical harvesting, and this has helped make the Livermore Valley one of California's premier wine-growing regions. Today, Wente is the powerhouse of the Livermore Valley and is the longest continuously run family winery in California. Wow, there was so much history in the Livermore Valley, I just had to get out there and check it out. The Livermore Valley is a great day trip from San Francisco or the wine-growing regions of Sonoma or the Napa Valley. Summer and fall harvests are the best time to visit the Livermore Valley, but it's great any time of year. On the way to the wineries, be sure to check out the pleasant city of Livermore, California. Livermore has some great dining opportunities, and we had a fantastic lunch before heading out to the vineyards. It's also a great place to go shopping for that great bottle of Livermore Valley wine. I'm going to try one more glass of wine, and we'll see you out in the vineyards.